What's good, YouTube? So today I'm bringing you my pure live twin deck profile. So I've been looking online on YouTube primarily, trying to find a pure live twin deck. With the new support, you would think there would be more interest in playing live twin again. However, every single deck profile I've searched on YouTube had the Fiendsmith package. Now, of course, live twin is a, let's say, top 5 deck at the moment with the Fiendsmith package. However, without the package, live twin is still very playable. Just playing with your friends, going to locals, it can definitely compete due to the amount of 1-card starters and non-engine that the deck plays. It allows the deck to stay relevant. I feel like this deck is going to continue to grow. But yeah, again, very interesting that no pure live twin deck profiles are available on YouTube. However, you just have to dig a little deeper. But of course, with my channel specifically, I do like to kind of go over these kind of rogue decks, kind of forgotten decks, especially with the new support coming out. I feel like they shouldn't be forgotten. And again, with my specific mentality when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh and just re-entering the game again, I do enjoy learning every deck and learning as many decks as I can, learning as many decks as possible, going over the art forms. With live twin specifically, I feel like the art is just amazing, honestly, so colorful. But again, coming from playing Pokemon, I feel like I just have that natural desire and urge and almost fire inside of me. And honestly, the best way to explain it is,
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
and with that in mind, let's just quickly go over the deck profile, and then I'll kind of go over a little bit of the cards and just kind of going over options on what the deck can do. Also, what other engines can be added to the deck to kind of make it more viable and competitive in today's meta. So to begin, we have 3 live twin Leelas, 1-card starters. Pretty much they have Leela and Kisakil. So each one has like its own niche effect where Kisakil, each time an opponent's monster declares an attack, you gain 500 life points. So kind of good going into the later games, game 2 and 3. Obviously, you don't usually want to keep her on board, but if you are hand trapped, then it doesn't hurt to gain the life points. Then, if this card is normal or special summon and you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 Leela monster from your hand or deck. So you normal summon this, and it special summons the blue one. You normal summon the pink, it special summons the blue. Normal summon the blue, it special summons the pink. Pretty simple. And then with the Leela's effect, your opponent must pay 500 life points to declare an attack. So again, very niche interactions. However, it is something to kind of remember and can come up in games as well. So you definitely want to max out, especially in the pure version, all three names. Again, these are your 1-card starters. Then we have some of the extenders, Kisakil Frost and Leela Treat. So with Frost, if you control a Leela monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. With Treat, if you control a Kisakil monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So again, very niche stuff that they do. They are the extenders of the deck because more than likely, let's be honest, with especially today's meta and format, your opponent will have hand traps. Kisakil Frost also has another effect where if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand by a card effect, except during the damage step, while you control an evil twin monster, you can banish this card from a graveyard and draw 1 card. So very great interaction, great effect to kind of have, especially if you use it to kind of link climb and then it gets to your graveyard. It's just pretty much a free draw. Leela Treat, unfortunately, not as great. When either player takes damage from a battle involving an evil twin monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, it loses attack equal to the battle damage. So not really an effect you use too much. However, again, it is just an extender. A lot of people actually do cut this card. Then we have the new Leela Suite. So when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your live twin card or effect activation, quick effect, you can discard this card and negate the opponent's effect. Then if you control a Kisakil monster and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So again, just another extender to kind of link climb and special summon itself. And then again, you can do that and then on the next turn kind of do the same thing and continue to do that. And this card definitely is great to have in your graveyard and just to kind of get you to link climb. And like a lot of the cards, it does lock you into Fiend monsters. Then we have the Brick, the card you kind of just send with Sunny Snitch from your deck to the graveyard. Then for consistency, we have 3 Sunny Snitch, 3 Secret Passwords, and 1 Life Twin Home. So secret password, add 1 live twin or evil twin Spiral Trap from your deck to your hand. So we use this to go into Sunny Snitch, and the Sunny Snitch is a continuous card. So you use this to add 1 of your live twin monsters. So this is pretty much any of your live twin monsters. Again, this deck is so great with consistency, and then just having this many extenders, 1 of your monsters is negated, you can kind of get the other one. Then Sunny Snitch being a continuous effect where you control an evil twin monster. Each time your opponent no more special summons a monster, you gain 200 life points, and then your opponent loses 200. So again, game 2 and 3, stuff like that does come up, but the Life Twin Home is just an extender. Do quickly want to show off these amazing sleeves. Yeah, pretty cool. Then speaking of extenders, we have 3 parallel exceed. When you eventually link climb and go into your links, which you are definitely going to do even if you are stopped now that we have the link 1, parallel exceed is pretty much 2 extra bodies on board. Then we have called by the grave as well to kind of just help your combos go through. Then with the amount of non-engine we're able to play with this deck, we just have a bunch of hand traps. I do also plan to fill this deck up with 3 nibs. Cards like Nib and Drone Lockbird are definitely turn-ending cards, so you want to max out on them. However, they are in my other deck at the moment, but do try and get 3 nibs, especially this is a budget deck. Nib is pretty much a 50-cent card nowadays. Then we're also running 3 blowout going first cards, Solemn Strike. Our end board with Live Twins is not the greatest, so having cards like Solemn Strike, I feel like just gives it a higher ceiling if you're not mixing in other engines such as Spright or Unchained or of course the Fiendsmith stuff. I feel like Solemn Strike is just a good alternative and budget option as well. Now to go over the extra deck, we are running 2 of the new cards, 2 of the link ones. This is Yugioh Deal. So she states, you can only link summon this card once per turn. You can send 1 Leela monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, then apply this effect. Each time your opponent activates their card or effect in response to your Yugioh or Leela monsters, draw 1 card. So again, you get to draw a card every time your opponent does something. And then again, just being a link 1 and having cards like Parallel Exceed, and then just going ahead and using this card to send your new Leela suite from the deck to the graveyard. Again, it allows you to link climb, not even including the draw effect, just allowing you to link climb and then just getting her in the graveyard and just extending your combos after your most likely hand trap. Just a great new addition to the deck. Then we're running 2 Trouble Sunny, 2 Twins, 2 Blues, 2 Pinks. I did cut them down. I feel like if you did want a third version of either one, you can also do that because then it revives the other one from the graveyard. So if you do want to include 3, however, just having 3 of each of these is not really ideal anymore. Then we have Transcode Talker, IP, Underworld Goddess, Access Code Talker, IP Masquerena. IP can go into Underworld Goddess, Access Code Talker. If you do have SP Little Knight, you can also throw that in there. For now, for this budget build, we're just going to keep it like this. IP going into Underworld Goddess and then using one of your opponent's monsters is still very strong. And then of course going into Access Code Talker to go for games. Then when you do lock yourself in the Fiends, sometimes you do just want to go into other cards, go into stuff like Djinn Buster. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card and negate the activation. And if you do inflict 500 damage to your opponent, then we can still make Baguska. So might as well just throw that in there. Then speaking of Fiends, we have Superstar Slayer, Typhon, Sky Crisis, one of the best going second extra deck monsters. There was a reason until recently this card was hovering around $40 for the entirety of it being out, but with the new packs coming out a month or 2 ago, it is now a $2 card. For now, I know that this card is definitely going to go back up to like $10, $20 as time goes on, and then with it being a Fiend, and it's something we are able to go into, if you're going second, you know summon a monster, if it is stopped and you don't have an extender, you can just go ahead and slap this on top of one of your monsters, and then you have a 2900 body and a floodgate because your opponent is not going to be able to activate any monsters with 3000 attack or more. Then it also has the effect that once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, return 1 monster from the field to the hand. Great utility with this card, and that wraps up the extra deck. So again, with the Live Twin stuff, obviously the Fiendsmith package does make the deck a top 5 deck at the moment. However, you do not need to play the Fiendsmith package. If you want to spend the $200 to $300 to play the Fiendsmith package, you can definitely add it in and you have a top 5 deck. However, this Fiendsmith stuff is not the only thing that can be added to the Live Twin package. To make the ceiling higher, you can also add in the Unchained stuff. I'm not too familiar with the actual combos. I did watch a few videos and see that the ceiling and the end boards are a lot stronger with the Unchained stuff. However, it does add more bricks to your deck. So do with that information what you will. I know at one point the Unchained stuff was very powerful and was the ideal version of this deck. But again, there's not too much Live Twin information online. I do know Live Twin is the second most popular deck on Master Duel when it comes to purchasing artwork, purchasing icons, whatever it is. I know aside from Sky Striker, Live Twin stuff is the most paid for content on Master Duel. So that's very interesting that YouTube is lacking Live Twin content. But again, Unchained is a very affordable package. If you want to pay $20, you can get the whole Unchained package and add it to your Live Twin stuff. Or my personal recommendation would be adding the Spright package. I feel like the Spright stuff is very simple to learn. And again, it is probably around, I would say $20 to $30, depending what you want. If you can definitely add the Spright package for under $20, just adding full Spright Jets, Spright Reds, Spright Carrot, And of course, 3 Spright Blue would be the most expensive card, and Spright Blue is around $4. But they are super simple to learn. Each one of these, if you have a level 2 or rank 2 or a link 2, special summons itself, then it adds you a card, and they all do different things. And they typically go into Gigantic Spright, who then gets you whatever other Spright you're missing. And then the thing with Gigantic Spright, it also special summons 1 level 2 monster from your deck. So this can actually bridge into your Life Twin stuff. And again, very affordable, and it just makes the ceiling for the deck a lot higher. And it would be my recommendation, if you don't want to pay for the Fiendsmith stuff, to kind of make Life Twins more viable, is adding the Spright stuff into your deck. So that wraps up my Life Twin, pure Life Twin deck profile. If you guys are interested in more Life Twin content, let me know. I can also do the Fiendsmith stuff. I am not really the biggest fan of this Fiendsmith package, just to be honest. But if you guys want to see the Spright stuff or just more pure variants, whether that's test hands, combos, let me know. But I think that's all I got for you guys today. I'll catch you guys in the next video.